guys, what's up? I'm Hollie, aka the Sparrow, and today I'm going to be doing a Q&A for you all. Yes guys, that's right, every Saturday from now we're going to be doing an Ask Sparrow. So you guys can ask me anything you want, anything your heart desires. You can message me on Twitter or Instagram, or you can even write in the YouTube comment box what you want to ask me for the next video. Guys, I've already got like a handful of questions here today that I'm going to answer for you all. But first guys, before I get started on that, I had a few questions, not for the video, but kind of about the video on Instagram. People wondering what my setup was behind me. So before I jump into the actual Q&A, this is kind of like my beauty room slash recording room. And as you can see behind me, I've got one of the big Hollywood vanity mirrors, which I think for me is amazing for like me doing my hair and my makeup. It really, actually the lighting really works well from when I'm recording as well. I have a huge ring light in front of me too. So like the whole like setup lighting vibe in here is just amazing. But if you'd like to get one of these mirrors, I have in the description box down below where you can get them and the links to it. Yeah. Right guys, let's get into this. I'm gonna answer them as best and honestly as I can. Here we go. What is the most memorable thing that's happened to you? Oh my God, I don't think I'm gonna be able to pick one. I think I'm gonna have to do like a top three, because obviously I've had quite a few big life events, especially in the last year, that have happened to me. The first and foremost is obviously my baby girl. She's the most memorable thing. I can just remember carrying her, I remember giving birth to her. I just remember everything about being pregnant and giving birth. So that's obviously the most memorable thing to me. The second thing is Ov proposing to me on his birthday. Like, it was a really, really big surprise. I literally had no idea that it was even happening. And especially in Las Vegas on his birthday, we're just lying in bed together all happy, and he kind of, well, you've seen the video. If you guys haven't, go over to the vlogging channel, the Hollie and Ollie channel. Yeah, he just said, his words were, "You've given me something that I've always wanted," meaning Ravenna. "So now I would like to give you something that I think that I can give you, which is marriage and the rest of our lives together, I guess." That's probably the second thing. I think we're just gonna go with two. I mean, the rest of things are great in my life and everything, but they're obviously the most that stand out and they're the most memorable to me. And they're definitely the most important thing. Like, family is like first over everything. Like, family over money, work, friends. Like, family is always going to be the most important thing in my life, and definitely the most memorable. To the next question. What is the one thing that now you regret doing in life? Oh, this is kind of really tough. For me, I know a lot of you guys know that I used to be a glamour model, but I kind of wish I went about that in a different way. And I maybe wish that instead of like jumping into doing glamour modeling, I kind of did more beauty editorial modeling. And I really, really regret not starting my YouTube channel sooner. I've had the channel for about 7 years and I never really uploaded on it. I never really did anything with it. And that's always a huge regret to me, in the sense where I could have done more of what I loved back then, and I wish I would have done it sooner, because I would have probably had a bigger following and I would have had more to offer by now. So I really kind of regret not taking the opportunity when I had it many years ago. So I'm gonna go with that. It was probably my biggest regret. Ask Sparrow, what is the most embarrassing thing you have done? Oh, I'm kind of an embarrassing person anyway, because I'm so clumsy. I trip over, like I mumble and like stutter a lot. I think that's a lot to do with my awkwardness, because I'm kind of like socially awkward, and I'm not really like used to being around a lot of people, and when I am, I get like super uncomfortable and I don't really know how to act. Like even now, like talking about this, I can feel myself like playing with my nails. Yeah, I just say that the most embarrassing thing is probably I've probably said the wrong thing, or I've tripped up, or I've had food in my teeth. I'm kind of that sort of person. Like, I'm just generally quite clumsy. Not one thing stands out to me. So I guess I'm gonna go with just generally being a bit of a klutz. This damn phone keeps locking and I need to read the questions. How did you meet Ov? I don't know if I've actually told this before. So Ov and I knew of each other about 5 or 6 years ago, and it is no secret, I used to date another YouTuber, and as did he. I also used to be a glamour model, and I was doing kind of lads mags, page 3, Nuts Zoo, and I was on the front cover of Nuts, which was like a really big special thing for me. Little did I know that Ov actually bought my magazine, and he used to buy the magazines that I was in. I guess he kind of like favoritized me as a model, like, because he used to follow me on social media and things. But after that, I obviously broke up with my boyfriend at that time, because it didn't really work for me. He was quite childish, and he broke up with his girlfriend because he wanted something different. I think he found her quite childish as well. But I said I was going to be as like brutally honest as I could be. Then he'd unfollowed me on social media as to her request, which is fair enough because some girls don't like their boyfriends or their partners seeing other girls, like especially me in bikinis and in underwear and things like that. That was all over my social media. So I guess that is uncomfortable for a lot of girls. But then he refollowed me on all social media and I was like, oh, I didn't even realize he'd unfollowed me. And I was playing Zombies, Black Ops 3. All my teammates were like complete noobs. They were awful. Like I really couldn't play and I couldn't get on with the Easter egg missions because I had to carry my team basically the whole time. So I like casually messaged him on Twitter. I'll find the messages and I'll put them somewhere here for you guys to read. And it was something like, do you want to play Zombies with me? And he was like, yeah, sure, what's your PSN? I'll hop on. So then we had our headsets and we were talking online to each other, and he was like, kind of explained the story of when he used to buy my magazines and stuff, and like how he knew who I was and how I knew who he was. And we really we talked like every night. We used to play Zombies like for 2 weeks solid, like talking on the headsets. And then we used to Snapchat each other and message each other. And it was never like flirty, it was always quite friendly. And I didn't really think much of it. Like I always thought we were just friends because a lot of my friends are actually guys. I find it easier to get on with guys than I do with girls because I find girls to be quite hostile. And I don't really like bitchiness and pettiness, and I find quite a lot of girls do that in a girl group. So I'm not all about that life. Anyway, so eventually after about 2 weeks, he says, do you want to get together and do something? So I was like, yeah, sure, like really casual. Oh yeah, what do you want to do? And he was like, well, it's up to you. And I was like, well, we could go and see, like I love scary movies. So I said to him, well, we can go to the cinema or whatever. So we ended up going to see a scary film at the cinema, which was actually quite good. And then we ended up going out for dinner. And then he was like, well, what do you want to do after dinner? And I was like, what do you mean, what do I want to do after dinner? It's like 10 o'clock. Like, what is there to do? I think it was like a Thursday night or something. And I was like, well, we can go to this cocktail bar that I know. So we went and had a few drinks. And then he was like, well, what can we do now? And I was like, what do you mean, what do you want to do now? So he ended up coming back to my house and he got so drunk that he fell asleep on my sofa. So I like came downstairs with like a pink duvet and like threw it over him. And then the next morning I was like, this is really awkward because you kind of got really drunk and fell asleep on my sofa watching a film. And he was like, oh, I'm really sorry. He was like, okay, well, I better go. So he left and that was that. And then he messaged me when he got home and he was like, I'd like to see you again. Like, do you want to do something? And then we ended up going to EGX together. Where he won the Legends of Gaming award. I think that's right. I have to like check with Ov if it was EGX we went to. And then I was like, we're just friends, like playing it off really cool, because I always said to myself, the next relationship that I'm going to be in is the person I'm going to end up with for the rest of my life. And yeah, and then we ended up going on holiday together kind of as friends, but it kind of grew into something more than that. And that is how the story of Ov and I met and ended up getting together. So I'm sorry if that was a really long-winded story, but you told me I wanted to be honest, so I'm being honest. What would you do if a partner stood you up on, say, a birthday or Valentine's Day in order to go on the piss with his mates? First of all, this actually has happened to me when I was about 17, and like I didn't know any better because it was my first relationship, and my ex-boyfriend at the time did constantly stand me up, and I remember he even forgot my birthday and he didn't even get me a card. Like he didn't like take me out for dinner or anything. Like he didn't even buy me a card. We were living together, so it was like super awkward, and I just said I can't do this anymore, and I just left, and I was like, you deal with this, like this situation on your own. For me personally, if someone can disrespect you that badly, that's not a long-term thing, and that's not a relationship that's going to work. Luckily for me, I have a really nice partner who doesn't ever forget anything like that and always tries to make it really, really special. Obviously not the kind of person that would go out and get drunk with their mates anyway, unless I was there. Like, we actually only enjoy getting drunk together because we get even funnier. I'm not really ever worried about that, but obviously if Ov did do that now, it would be a concern of mine because he's not like that anyway. There's my answer. I hope you liked it. What is your favorite thing to do in your free time? Do you know what? Actually playing Fortnite, my thing to do in my free time, if I haven't got to record or I haven't got to kind of clean the house or look after Ravenna, is I want to sit down on the sofa with a Chinese and I want to play Fortnite. And I want to play 50 versus 50 because that's a really good time to me. Or, no, actually there is no or. I just love to play Fortnite in my free time. I know I'm very late, but will you and Ov have another baby? This is a kind of an awkward one. For me, like, I don't see myself having another baby until Ravenna starts school, so she's 4 or 5 years old. And even then, like, it would only be one other child. And I know for Ov, I think he only wants to have Ravenna. He wants to have that only child, especially because she's a little girl. Like, he loves having a little princess to dote upon and spoil. And I'm completely okay with that. Like, for me now I've had a child, I can focus on what else I want to do in life. So our next thing is my channel getting back up and running, then the vlogging channel, and then in 2020 we've planned on getting married. So yeah, for me, I wouldn't mind having another child, but I actually like having the one child because she gets all of our attention and she gets everything like she needs from both of us. She has undivided attention. I just love being able to give her that. So I think it's one for now. Ask Sparrow. Why did you decide to become a nude model? I was kind of wondering when this was going to come up, but just for the sake of this question, I was never a nude model. I was always a glamour model. Difference being is nude is when you show your dinky do, which I am really not comfortable to do. A glamour model is someone that only shows topless. I think there's a massive difference. Like, to me, nude model, that's taking it too far. I don't feel comfortable showing my private area to anyone other than Ov. Because that's special just for him to see. Uncomfortable answer. But I didn't decide to become a nude model. I was scouted for being a glamour model. I had a headshot taken by a photographer and they wanted to pass it on to an agency, and the agency really liked it. And the next week later I was shooting in Zoo magazine for a centre spread. So I was never a nude model. Let's just make that clear. I was never a nude model. I was always a glamour model, and there is a massive difference. What happened to the vlogs from you guys? I kind of addressed this in the video before. I think it's in the I'm back video, but the vlogging will commence again when my channel is back up and running. Because I've been away from YouTube for about 1.5 years, my channel's taken a massive hit, and I really don't feel comfortable starting on the vlogging channel when my kind of channel is like in a turnaround kind of period. So I think when my channel is back up to where it was and getting the views it was, and I'm gaining subscribers and things again, we will definitely start vlogging again, because we do have so many exciting things to look forward to that we do want to capture on camera. Ov and I want to solely focus on our own channels, and then when mine is better, we will commence the vlogging again. So I hope you like that answer. Who edits your videos? I'm not gonna lie, I do actually edit my videos. Some of you actually like the edits, some of you don't like the edits. But don't forget, like, this is all still very new to me. Sometimes I do get a little bit stuck and I do ask Ov, which is when he puts in like the funny sound effects and he puts the effects on to make it look funnier, which is the bit that I'm still kind of learning at the moment. But no, neither of us have an editor. We both do our own videos. Yeah, like I said, if I'm really stuck, I do ask Ov. It's kind of my thumbnails I get more stuck with at the moment, but I think I cracked it last night, so it should be okay. Yeah, hopefully that's something else I'll get better at with time. So this is also very new to me, and I think I'm doing well. Like, don't you guys? Are you and Ov still dating? Well, I should hope so. Yes, Ov and I are still dating. We still have a life together. We still live in our house together. We have a baby together. We're still engaged. We are planning on getting married in about 3 years' time, because we don't want that to be our focus at the moment. But like, for dating, like, the last date we went on was to see the Avengers at the midnight showing, and we had Ov's mum look after Ravenna. So that was our technical like last date, which was like 2-3 days ago. But I think we've got a date night again tonight. My mum's got Ravenna, and I think we actually might go see the Avengers again, which is super sad, I know, but I love it. And like, I actually cried in the Avengers, but I won't give any more spoilers away. I won't give any more spoilers. Yes, Ov and I are still dating. We're still very much together and in love. Right guys, that is all the questions and answers I have for you guys today. Don't forget, you can message me on Twitter at any time if you want to ask me things for the next Q&A of Ask Sparrow. Thank you so much for all your questions, and I love that you take such an interest in my life. It's really sweet. Don't forget, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. My links are all down in the description box below. Thank you so much guys, and I'll see you next time for Ask Sparrow. Lots of love. Mwah!